Students, welcome back to our science class. Are you all fine? See, in the last two classes, we studied about fiber to fabric, right? So in that, we studied that wool fiber and silk fiber, right? Animal fiber, plant fiber, and artificial fiber, okay? So here we studied wool from sheep and wool from other animal cells, okay? In other animals, we studied the bacterian camel, the alpaca and llama, and also about the goat we studied, the Kashmir goat. And in Kashmir goat, they provide the wool, pashmina wool, and in the Angora goat we studied, that is mohair, and Angora rabbit we studied, it is provide the Angora wool, okay. And also next we studied about yak wool also, right. Then we study some Indian breeds of sheep also, okay. So that is Lohi, Nalli, Baharwal, Marwari and Patanwadi. Okay. Then the last class we studied about wool production. Okay. So in that we studied some process, right? Shearing, scoring, grading or sorting, dyeing, drying and the making of yarn. Okay. So we studied the first process, that is shearing. Okay. So the what is shearing? The process of removal of the fleece from an animal is called shearing. Okay. What is shearing? The process of removal of the fleece from an animal is called shearing. Okay. So you know that they are removing the fleece from the animal. Okay. We saw the video also, right? So you know clearly. Then we studied the process, that is scoring. Scoring means what? Just like washing. Okay. The sheared hair is washed with soap and water. Okay. And to remove the dust, dirt, grease, or the vegetable matter. Okay. So that process is called scouring. Okay. And the third process we studied, grading or sorting. Okay. Grading means what? After scouring, the fleece separated into according to the length, color, texture and the ease. Okay. So that process is called grading or sorting. Okay. And the fourth process we studied, that is dyeing. You know that the fleece are white, brown or black in color, right? So it should be color, so that they used to apply the colors, that is dyeing. Okay. After dyeing, the next process is drying. Okay. The fifth process is drying. Drying means, so because of the dyeing, it will be wet, the fleece will be wet because they used to apply the colors as well as water, right? So it should be dry. So the next process is drying. Okay. So for drying, they used to put it in the containers or rollers to squeeze out the water. Okay. Next, they used the wool used to wait and packed into the bales. Okay. Now you are looking the picture bales. Okay. That's why I showed this picture. Okay. So these bales are transported to the mills, and it moves to the next process. Okay. That is called making of yarn. Okay. So what is yarn? Do you know the picture of yarn? See, this is yarn. Okay. You know that, right? This is yarn. Okay. So how they used to prepare this making of yarn? See, you know that because of the after the process of shearing, then they used to move to the scoring, and the third process, that is grading, and the fourth process dyeing, and the fifth process is drying. Okay. Then the next process is see, that is carding. Okay. So the carding machine combs the loose wool fiber into a sheet. Okay. Then the fibers are then rolled onto one another into fine strands called slivers. that is called slivers. Okay, then it is moved to the next process, that is roving. Roving means these slivers twisted into a strands through a process called roving. Okay, then again the next process is spinning. Here the wools are twist and retwist into yarn of wide variety or qualities like strength, firmness and size. Okay, then this yarn are wound to form balls of wool, that only you are looking in the picture. Okay, after this then the next process is weaving or knitting. Okay, weaving is done by crisscrossing two sets of yarn, and knitting is only needs only one sets of yarn. Understand that? That is the process of wool production. Okay, in the last class we studied about that clearly. Understand that? That is wool production. Okay, now today let's move on to the today's portion. Okay, so today's portion is and also we studied about that health hazards in the wool industry. Okay, so you know that these here for making yarn, so many people are working in that, right? So when they are working in that, they used to get the infection from the wool. Okay, so because of the bacteria, it affect the people. Okay, so they are inhaling the air in the same place, so they used to get the fatal disease called anthrax or shorter's disease. Okay, anthrax or shorter's disease, but nowadays the people used to take the vaccines so that it will be prevent from the disease. Okay, so normally people used to affect by the disease called anthrax or shorter's disease. Okay, and then move on to the today's portion, that is silk. Okay, now we are going to study about silk. Okay, we all wear silk dresses, right? Many of us like to wear silk clothes for functions, right? Don't we? Do you know where the silk come from? Don't we have to know where silk comes from? Yes, we have to know, right? Okay, we saw that wool is an animal fiber, okay, and made up of protein. Just like that, silk is also an animal fiber, okay. This is also made up of protein fiber, okay. Wool also protein fiber and silk also protein fiber, okay. And wool and silk both are animal fiber. Okay, so the wool can be obtained from many types of animals, right? So, but silk can only be produced from silkworm. Okay, so do you know who were the first producer of silk? Okay, silk is believed to have been first produced nearly 5,000 years ago in China. Okay, for thousands of years, the Chinese kept the production of silk a secret. Okay, so they began trading silk along the Silk Route in the 13th century. Hundreds of years later, a Chinese princess is believed to have smuggled silk moth eggs out of China. Okay, this enabled the people of Europe and other Asian countries to learn farming of caterpillars and production of silk. Okay, so silk is the strongest natural fiber. Okay, silk is the strongest natural fiber. It is stronger than the steel fiber of the same thickness. Okay, isn't it that amazing? We all like to wear silk, right? So why is that? Silk is a very comfortable fiber, okay, because it absorbs moisture. Okay, it is cool to wear in summer and warm in winter. Okay, silk is cool to wear in summer and warm in winter. Okay, it is soft and lustrous as it simmers in light. Okay, and it needs to be dry cleaned or washed with care. Okay, the silk needs to be dry cleaned or washed with care. And silk is primarily produced in China, India, Southeast Asia and Japan. Okay, silk is primarily produced in China, India, Southeast Asia and Japan. Okay, you know that we get silk from silkworm, right? The silkworm has different stages of growth. Okay, the silkworm has different stages of growth. So we have to know the life cycle of a silk moth. Okay, so now let's study life cycle of a silk moth. Okay, a female moth lays about 300 to 400 eggs at a time. Okay, in 2 weeks time the fertile live eggs catch into caterpillars and larvae emerge. Okay, so in 2 weeks time the fertile live eggs hatch into caterpillars and larvae emerge. Okay, this is called the larval stage. Okay, this is called the larval stage. Okay, so you can see this picture now. Okay, now you can see that eggs, the eggs catch into caterpillars. Okay, so that stage is called larval stage. Okay, now the caterpillars feed on mulberry leaves for 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, how many days? 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, it grows in size and becomes fat. Okay, now the caterpillars feed on mulberry leaves for 3 to 4 weeks, grows in size and becomes fat. Then the caterpillars shed their skin 4 times while they grow. Okay, how many times? 4 times. Okay, the caterpillar shed their skin 4 times while they grow. Okay, once the caterpillars are about a month old, they stop eating. Okay, after growing that, it stops eating. Okay, the caterpillar secretes fine filaments from 2 glands on its head. Okay, in the caterpillar heads, 2 glands are there. It secretes the filaments. Okay, the filaments are made up of protein. The filaments are made up of protein that gets hot when exposed to air. Okay, and these filaments are the silk fibers. These filaments are the silk fibers. Okay, the silkworm deposits filaments in layers around its body through a figure of 8 movements of the head. Okay, through a figure of 8 movements of the head. Okay, forming a structure called cocoon. Forming a structure called cocoon. Okay, that you can see in the third picture. Okay, the silkworm takes 3 to 7 days to prepare the cocoon. Okay, how many days? 3 to 7 days. Okay, to prepare the cocoon. Okay, formed by 20 to 39 concentric layers of a single thread, which is about 1 kilometer long. Okay, the silkworm takes 3 to 7 days to prepare the cocoon, formed by 20 to 39 concentric layers of a single thread. Okay, which is about 1 kilometer long. Again, the caterpillar completely covers itself by the cocoon. Okay, inside the cocoon, the silkworm enters the second stage of its life. Okay, now we study the first stage. Now it's move on to the second stage. Okay, this stage is called the pupal stage. Okay, what's the name of that? Pupal stage. This second stage is called the pupal stage. Then the third and final stage is to become an adult moth. So after this, the moth cuts the cocoon and comes out of it. Okay, it lives for a few days. Okay, so you know that the life cycle of a silk moth. Okay, so a female moth lays about 300 to 400 eggs at a time. Okay, again in 2 weeks time the live eggs catch into caterpillars. That is called the larval stage. Okay, then the caterpillar feeds mulberry leaves for 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, then it start to grow. Within this time shed the skin 4 times. Okay, so about 1 month old, it stops eating. Okay, it stops eating the mulberry leaves. Okay, after that, it secretes fine filaments from 2 glands on its head. Okay, and then these filaments are made up of protein, and that gets hot when exposed to air. Okay, these filaments are the silk fibers. Okay, so the silkworm deposits filaments in layers around its body through a figure of 8 movements. Okay, of the head, forming a structure called the cocoon. Okay, so then the silkworm takes 3 to 7 days to prepare the cocoon formed by 20 to 39 concentric layers of a single thread. Okay, which is about 1 kilometer long. Again, it covers itself by the cocoon. Then it enters to the second stage. Okay, that is called the pupal stage. Then it move on to the third stage. That is the final stage. Okay, that become an adult moth. Okay, so likewise, this life cycle will be rotate. Okay, again this adult moth lays eggs, the same process will be continue. Okay, that is the life cycle of silk moth. Understand that? Okay, next we can study about the sericulture. Okay, that we will study in the next class. So students, you have to read this lesson and find out the one word answer. Okay, thank you.